I grew up in a big house, big property, and when I needed to get one of my siblings' attention, I would have to shout across a long stretch of property, "Hey! Come over here! Let's play!" And, a lot of people in countries like this one, cold country, cold climates in a city, grew up in a smaller space with an apartment or with close by neighbors. And I was in the suburbs. And I'm one of five, so I had to compete for attention when I spoke. So singing loud has never been a problem for me. But I have a lot of students, like one I had today, that has a problem with doing that because as a child and as somebody that was developing their personality, that was not something that they really practiced. In fact, sometimes it's something that's like highly discouraged. So ironically, as I was teaching her, it was thundering, like super loud because it was a big thunderstorm now. And it just got my wheels turning and it got me thinking, the reason why thunder is so loud is because there's nothing inhibiting it. And the reason why some people that, have had one or two siblings and have parents that want quiet or that live in apartments and have neighbors, they grew up in that, being loud is not encouraged and is also probably even forbidden. So one of the first things we have to overcome if we want to sing loud is that kind of voice in the head that tells us, you're not allowed to be loud. That's obnoxious. That's rude. That's uncivil. And so I think that if you want to be loud, you should try this. So if we're going to say, ga, 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 and it's not as loud as it is for me, it could be for that reason that I just said. Also, I just want to add this little extra thing that I have a big mouth, I have a big throat, I have big vocal cords, so I make a big sound. Some singers are leaner. There's ectomorphs, mesomorphs, and endomorphs. And ectomorphs have a smaller frame. It's 3 body types. It's personal training terminology. And if you are an ectomorph, one of those hard gainers, just a more lean and slender person, you might have a harder time making a big sound. So, but also, if you combine that with being inhibited, you're not going to reach your potential of how loud you can be. So, let's try ga, 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 as loud as you can. So you go ga, 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 ga. You try. Good. So now to challenge it even more, let's add a clap, and we're going to try to clap at the same time as we say ga so that we can create a physical representation of what's going on with the vocal folds inside. They're closing, and opening. So ga, 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 ga. They're coming together, coming apart, or adducting and abducting. So abducting and adducting, abducting and adducting. All these terms, right? That's what happens when you read so many things. So let's do the clapping. Ga, 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 ga. Try here. Ga, 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 ga. Let's do it again. Ga, 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 ga. Let's try here. I think this piano needs to be tuned. Ga, 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 ga. Try here. Nice and loud. When you do this, if you do this, make sure that no one can hear you, because that's going to re-trigger those, voices in the head saying, you can't do this, it's too loud, that's uncivil, that's not polite, what about the neighbors? So that's why it's important when you practice singing with loudness, to have a private space where you don't get self-conscious because there's people around. And you will put up with that thing in the head going like, what are you doing? This is weird, or you're overstepping a boundary, or you're crossing the line. But if you're taking voice lessons, or if you're interested in becoming a singer that has more access to his potential, you will have to challenge the status quo inside of your psyche. And so that's why I have created this video, so that I can kind of encourage you to do that at your own pace. Okay, bye.